In this video, I'm going to talk about my work, design of the narrative book collection, redesigning pre-modern Japanese books in the digital age. In this research, I designed an interactive interface named Narrative Book Collection. The Narrative Book Collection consists of two views, Bookshelf View and Book View, and by linking to the future and course steps, this research proposes a new way in interacting with their Japanese books on the web. And in this video, I will cover two topics of my work, the pilot study and prototype design of the narrative book collection. In the digital age, a subset of online digital collection exists, yet narrative book collection stands unique in providing both distant and close reading experience in conjunction with narratives. Very briefly, in this work, the concept of close and distant reading enables learners to capture the wide variety of characteristics that appear in their Japanese books beyond the written text. And for the narratives, although there's considerable number of studies in this work, first, stories are consist of viewpoints in distant and close scale. Then, the learners forms a series of stories as pathways. And then, every single aspect of story and storytelling becomes a narrative, with an extensive range of interpretation of bibliographical information. And I place my whole research as a design research, where, in practice, I started from observing and understanding the learner's behavior and expectations. The entire research was structured in three phases. First, I conducted a pilot research that applies to the first and second run of the course, in aiming to understand who are my audience and what they are expecting. Then next, I started working on prototyping to see the viability of the narrative book collection. And then, I refined the design and conducted proof of concept in the end of the fourth run of the course. First, the pilot study took place in summer 2016 and in the beginning of the 2017. In this phase, I was first involved in designing the future learn course, then observed and facilitated the course. And after the end of each course run, I analyzed the comments and course survey results. The course, Japanese Culture Through Their Books, was structured in 3 weeks with 3 learning topics. And the learning activities, such as videos, articles, and quizzes, were categorized as steps, along with comment sharing section in almost every step. And here are some numbers from the first and second run results. Joiners are the registered people. The active learners are those who completed at least one step. And the social learners are defined as those who posted at least one comment. And through examining the learner attributes, I realized that the audience were really diverse. The age range varies from 18 to over 65. And there was a balance with people who had some background of Japanese culture and those who had no experience. Regarding the overall experience, more than 70% of the learners evaluated their overall experience as excellent. Furthermore, I did a text mining throughout all posted comments and realized that many learners were suggesting different sources from outside of the course, such as Wikipedia. and I felt that this behavior could be an interesting field to explore. I also found out several suggestions from learners' comments, such as these three. For example, one learner suggesting reorganizing of the material. Another learner suggesting more visualization of information. And another learner expected some ways to review the materials and take a closer look of the books. Now let me summarize the main findings and insights I got from this pilot research. I organized them in three different categories: interaction, contents, and the course organization. Regarding the interaction, I found out that there was lack of interaction with the course materials and the contents. For the contents, there were expectations for a wider range of features to explore the course narratives. Then, for the course organizations, I felt that there was room for creating more different pathways. Moreover, despite the fact that the learners are joining from all over the world, of course, each people are different, individual, and it is important to give thoughts to who they actually are. Referring to the research conducted by Futuren, the learners can be categorized in 7 archetypes under 3 different areas, such as learners who take the course for work and study, for personal life, and for leisure. Then, based on these classifieds, by the end of the pilot study, I could identify the majority of our course learners as librarians or scholars, retired or teachers, and artists or students. And these findings and insights led me to define the design goals of the narrative book collection. The first goal is to make the narrative book collection an interface that stimulates exploration and facilitates the understanding of the course through interactions. Then next, the narrative book collection should enable a wider range of interpretation of bibliographical information, such as size, color, and shapes. And this interface should provide the learner with both distant and close reading experience, enabling the creation of multiple pathways in different narrative contexts. With having these goals, the next step was to work on the prototype to see the viability of the narrative book collection. And for this phase, a design process was formed and divided in 4 steps. First, in A, story formation, I established stories, viewpoints, based on the course narratives. Next, in B, data generation, I looked at ways to generate and store data related to the course material. Then, in C, story-driven data analysis, I analyzed data and designed ways to facilitate knowledge transfer. And in D, narrative visualization, I worked on how to offer multiple viewpoints and interactions with the collection. For the story formation, the course provided 13 different viewpoints among distant and close reading viewpoints. Yet, based on the feedback from the pilot study, I picked up the highlighted 4 viewpoints. For the data generation phase, I used existing data from the pilot research. There were 95 titles in total, and I took those images and retouched one by one and added bibliographical information. Then, At the story-driven data analysis phase, I worked on creating a system that enabled learners to be created according to the commands. Then, at the narrative visualization, I produced the visuals for the interface to stimulate learners to explore the books through cover, color, size, and timeline. With this prototype, I expected the learners to follow the narrative book collection in this way. First, from the course steps comment section, they get the link to the narrative book collection, and once they are in, they could explore the book through cover, size, color, and timeline. And then they could also go deeper in their exploration by taking a closer view with the zooming feature. And this was the result, user flow from the first iteration. This result suggests that there were several numbers of learners finding their own pathway and exploring several viewpoints, both distant and close. However, there were also a considerable amount of learners, almost half of the learners, who first visited the top index page, then dropped off immediately after entering the site. And by reading the comments in the survey, I found out several opinions. Although there were some positive feedbacks, I also got criticized in the visuals and in the technical parts that the interface was not working properly. Accordingly, these are the three main insights which were drawn from this prototype experiment. First, it is necessary to consider the balance of the total visual design. Next, I need to provide a more close connection to the course content and deep investigation of the learner behavior. And I should also create the visualization that guides the learners and facilitate their pathways. Yet, I'll stop here for this video. Wrapping up quickly, in this talk, I started with pilot study, where I started from understanding who are the users, audience, and what they are expecting. And then I developed a prototype to see the viability of the narrative book collection and learned a number of practical lessons that will be fed into the following behind design. Now, before closing this video, for those who are interested in the concept of closed distance reading or narratives, in fact, there are tons of articles that you can find on the internet. But let me share you some books which is easy to read and worth reading on these topics. That's all for now. Thank you very much.